All right, welcome to this video, guys. Another video in a series of interviews that I'm doing. As you know, I've been doing interviews with people that are getting into these products, knowing nothing about the Forex, and literally within weeks, I'm having results. Now, the person I have here, Arnold, you may have heard of him in the group. He's not a newbie as of this date. He's been around for what, 9 months, Arnold?
I've been trading my own account now for 9 months, yeah.
9 months. But he was in the situation that we've all been in. When he came to this company, he knew nothing about the Forex and was able to turn a $1,000 account into some pretty amazing money. So Arnold, the question for you is, what kind of experience did you have before you ran into this company and these signals in the Forex?
To say zero would be understating it. I had heard of Forex before, and I knew it had something to do with trading, but that's literally all I knew. I didn't even know what Forex stood for. I quickly learned that it stood for foreign exchange, and then I felt like an idiot when I found that out because it only makes sense, right? But yeah, I was as green can be. Like my buddy Paul always says, I was so green, I was good for the environment.
He just said that in the last video.
I bet he did. Yeah, that's kind of his phrase. I like that, so I piggyback on that. But yeah, I didn't know anything about Forex, and I learned quickly. Once I figured out what Forex was, I learned quickly how big of a market the Forex market is, and how much money people are making in Forex, and the lifestyles that it's creating, and so on and so forth. So that's when I decided, all right, I have to dive into this and figure out what to do. But the funny thing is the last thing I wanted to do was go through the steep learning curve that's required if you're going to be a true professional trader on your own. There's a ton to learn if you're going to do all that on your own. And then even once you learn all that, then you still got to be sitting there in front of the charts, right? Watching the charts, watching the markets, watching the trends, keeping up with the financial news in the world. I didn't want to do any of that. So when I found out what iMarketsLive is doing and what they're offering and the service that they provide, it just flat out made sense to me. So I said, you know what, this looks like a great way that I can actually tap into the markets without having to do all that other stuff, and let me see what happens. And it was pretty cool. The results have been pretty incredible.
Now, when you started, did you start with a demo account or did you go live right away?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely started with a demo account. I demoed for a full month.
Nice.
So like we're in April now, and I started demoing in July of last year. Okay, so these trade signals that we're using, they started providing these trade signals in, I think it was mid to late June. And so when I found out about the trade signals, that's when I started thinking, I'm like, well, man, if I can just copy and paste these trade signals without having to do all the, analysis and chart watching and so on and so forth, let me give that a try. So that's when I set up a demo account, started demoing the beginning of July. I demoed for the entire month of July. And, kind of went through a learning curve. Even though it's copy and paste, there's still a little bit of a learning curve. It's not nearly as big or as steep as it would be if you were doing all this on your own. So I made some mistakes along the way, picked a couple of the wrong pairs, copied and pasted the wrong information into the wrong pairs, all that kind of fun stuff that newbies do, right? So I did all that, and then started to figure some things out. My demo account started to get into profit on a pretty consistent basis. So by the end of July, I said, well, you know what, I think I kind of got this figured out now, at least the copying and pasting part. And let me go live. So I went live the beginning of August, first week of August. I remember because my wife and I, that's always our week to go down to the beach. We have a very close family friend who owns a beach house down in Cherry Grove. I live in North Carolina, and Cherry Grove is down in South Carolina, just north of Myrtle Beach. So we go down there. First week of August is our week to be there every year. And so I remember the first week of August was when I went live, and I was literally sitting on the beach with my smartphone, placing trades while on the beach. It was great.
Nice. That's awesome. So now so you started, you traded demo for a month, which is great because we always tell everybody trade demo for minimum 2 weeks. And I always say for as long as it takes, if it takes you a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it takes. But most people, within a month, you can get comfortable with the app. So you start, and then you went live with 1,000. So what happened after that? Did you make money? Did you lose money? What happened?
No, again, I had figured some things out during demo. So, you're not going to win every trade. That's unrealistic. If anyone thinks you're going to win every trade, that's unrealistic. So did I have some losses along the way? Of course I did. But every week we won. Every week we never had a losing week. We haven't had a losing week since I started 9 months ago. That's what's so incredible about this.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
you know, so I basically had double. Well, we were doing some pretty incredible things. I mean, our pip count per week when I first started was pretty astounding. So I doubled my account like this, then doubled it again, and doubled it again, and doubled it again, virtually overnight. Now, I say that obviously there's an income disclaimer here, right? It's not guaranteed it's going to happen the way it did for me, for everybody. But within 4 months, I had turned $1,000 into $50,000.
Woohoo!
In 4 months.
Wow.
And I mean, even to this day, it's becoming a little bit more real now because it keeps happening. But I tell people, and I'm really pretty serious about this, I pretty much pinch myself every morning when I wake up to make sure that I'm not dreaming. This isn't a 9-month dream. This is real life, and it's been pretty incredible. So what I've decided to do, and this is just personal preference, is I keep a $50,000 balance in my trading account now, just for leverage purposes and so on and so forth, so I can trade with what they call lot sizes. I can trade with the lot sizes and use the proper risk that I need to use to pull out some pretty significant profits every week. So now I'm averaging anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000 a week in profit, and pulling that out every week, just keeping my 50,000 balance in there and pulling my profits out every week. Some weeks are a little less, some weeks are a lot more. I mean, shoot, a couple of weeks ago I had a $12,000 week. I think the week before that I did 8 or 10. But usually on average, if you kind of average it all out, it's somewhere between 6 and 8 a week now, which is pretty cool. Copying and pasting.
That is crazy. So let me get this straight. So 9 months ago, you knew nothing about Forex, and now you're pulling 6 to 8 grand a week out of the market.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
I'm going to say the same thing. I've said this in every single video so far that I've done, is that kind of pisses me off. Okay. You know? And the reason is, you know, and if you've watched the other videos, you already know what the reason is because I've been trading for 10 years, and I probably spent over $200,000 on coaches, on courses, on signals, on, you know, things they call expert advisors and indicators. You know, in my first 5 years, lost my butt off. You know, and it wasn't the last 5 years where it all clicked and I've been successfully trading. And then here's, you know, someone like, you know, Paul, first day makes $100. You know, you start with 1,000 and doubling it like every month, you know, and make 50 grand in your first 4 months. It's like, but it's also awesome, you know.
It is. It's incredible. It's incredible. But I also, you know, because of my story, I caution people not to get involved with the lottery mentality, right? You got to come in and realize that, listen, the Forex market is a real thing. It's a living, breathing thing. It's not a lottery. It's not a lottery ticket. And if you come in with the right mentality and you come in with the right plan and you stay patient, consistent, and you don't get greedy, you're going to do extremely, extremely well. It's a lot of fun.
I think the key thing of your process was that you demoed for a month.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think that's the key right there because you, like you said, you get all the bugs out. Even though it's copy and paste, it's easy to hit the wrong pair because some of them seem similar. You know, the pairs look similar. So you might click on the wrong one. You might enter the wrong number.
Yeah.
You might, you know, not turn your phone on by accident, not used to keeping your phone around so you don't get the signal or whatever. All these little things you got to get used to. And being in a demo account, you get all of that stuff out. You know, why risk your money?
Exactly.
And while you're going through the learning curve, that would be just stupid. You know?
And you know, the funny thing is, Mike, an additional learning piece to this is the emotional part of trading, right? So not only just the mechanics of, all right, what does MetaTrader 4 look like? How does that work? How do you copy and paste? You know, all that kind of stuff. How do you manage a trade once it goes live, once you're in profit? Just the mechanics of how to trade is one thing, but also there's an emotional side to trading, right? So, I mean, the markets are all over the place. It's the Forex market, the foreign exchange. I mean, there's currency trading going on all over the world, every minute of every day for at least 5.5 days a week, right? And so you kind of got to get through, even when you're playing with play money, playing with fun money, if you're competitive in any sense of the word, like I am, I don't care if it's fun money or not, I want to win, right? So you got to get through the emotional side of the ebbs and flows of a trade. And so that's part of it too, because you can, if you lose one trade, one of the bad things I've seen some people do that have gotten into trouble is if they have a couple of losses in a row, they double up on their risk to try and make it back that much faster. And that's when they can double up on their losses if things keep going the wrong way, right? And that's the emotional side. You can't, and I tell people now, I say, listen, you're almost better off if for some reason you have, 2, 3, 4 losses in a row, which is going to happen every now and then, right? We all know that. You've been doing this long enough to know that that's reality. Uh-huh. The worst thing you can do is double up on your risk to try and make it back. What I tell people is you're almost better off reducing your risk when you're coming back, kind of get your mojo back, get a few wins under your belt, and then you can slowly but surely, get back to where you were as far as your risk is concerned. But as you know, we teach people the risk is extremely minimal to begin with if you do it right. Right. If you do it right, the risk is very minimal anyway. So it's easy to win back what your losses are. Like I know you've talked about with your experience, basically if you could have even if you have 3 losses in a row, 1 win can make it all back, right? If you're using proper risk management. So exactly. That's why you just can't get emotional. You have to trade without emotion best you can. You almost have to be a robot.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say.
Take your brain out of your head and just trade like a robot, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, thanks a lot for coming on here, man. That's an awesome story. I think it'll inspire a lot of people. I just, as we close this out, person watching this video probably had all the same fears that we had. They're trying to decide whether or not they should do this. What do you got to say to that individual?
Well, the easy answer is just do it. Take the Nike slogan and just do it, right? What's really cool, and I think some of the misconceptions that people have about foreign exchange is the fact that they've heard horror stories, and in any line of life, you're going to hear about the bad before you hear about the good, right? Everyone's going to get online and complain about the bad before they get online and talk about the good. So what I will tell you from personal experience, if you do it right and you follow our guidelines and our training and our rules of trading, you'll succeed. The numbers just flat out work. Like I said, with these trading signals that I've been following now for 9 months, we have not had a losing week, not one losing week. We've had a couple of losing days, but we've never had a losing week. And so the numbers will play out, the numbers will work out. And, the other thing is that when you set up a trading account, you're not giving your money to an organization. You're not giving your trading money to iMarketsLive. It's not like one of those rev share things, right, where you've got to pay X number of dollars in and hope that you get something out of it. You're actually setting up your own private brokerage account. I tell people it's almost like setting up your own private savings account with the bank.
Right, exactly.
And that's just what you're using to trade with. It's 100% liquid. You have 100% access to it. So if for some reason things start going bad, or you just don't like what you're doing, or figure out this isn't for you, the money's not stuck anywhere. You can pull the money out anytime you want to. But I promise you, if you get started with us and you follow our guidelines, follow our training, follow these trade signals, copying and pasting, you're never going to want to stop. It's the best thing I've ever done in 25 years. It's been incredible.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't think of any better way to end it than that. So if you're watching this video, make sure you get back to the person that sent you to this page, sent you to this video. I'll go ahead and get their link and go ahead and get in. Just join now and jump in and join the fun with us here. We're definitely having a lot of fun, and I can tell you right now from experience, it's the best group of people I've been connected with in a long time. So you're definitely in the right place at the right time. Get that link. Join today. Thank you, Arnold.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure.
See you later. Bye.